Hey students, today we're going to be going over Chapter 11, Lesson 1, talking about the financial markets. Last chapter we talked about how banks operate in the economy. If you recall, when someone deposits money into the bank as part of it is placed to the side, the reserve requirement, and the rest is placed in excess reserves to be lent out. We talk about how banks track these with a T account, and we're going to be taking a look at what people do with the money when they borrow from the bank. The financial system has four parts that flow into one another. Those four parts are savings, financial intermediaries, borrowers, and financial assets.
A manufacturer who sticks to old equipment cannot compete and must fail. To survive, he must persuade people to risk savings in his business. He can then buy new equipment, increase production, and show a profit.
And he keeps the profit.
Oh, no. That's what a lot of people think. But he doesn't. Out of profit, he must pay dividends to investors. Profit must be put back into the business to buy newer and better machinery.
Spend his profit on machinery? When does it all end?
It never ends. Constant replacement with the latest machinery makes the industry more efficient, thus enabling it to pay higher wages and still make a profit. This efficient operation also results in more goods of better quality and produces them at a lower cost to everyone.
By thunder, if that's the way it's done, I'll do it.
Elmer Fudd explains the entire cycle quite well. This is how it comes together. Let's take a look at savings. When someone gets paid, there are two options for their money: to be spent or to be saved. In macroeconomics, we track this behavior with the marginal propensity to consume, which is spending their money, and marginal propensity to save. This is when someone saves it. When someone does save it, it starts the financial cycle. In the end, savings leads to investment spending. The savers place their money in a financial intermediary. A financial intermediary is a bank, credit union, life insurance companies, pension funds, and financial companies. We already talked about banks in Chapter 10. Let's take a look at credit unions. Credit unions share many of the same services offered by ordinary banks: savings and checking accounts, closed or time deposits, credit cards, and loans. The difference between banks and credit unions are that credit unions are non-profits that only benefit their members. Only members of credit unions may use their services.
I must confess, when I wear this dress, I feel like dancing the whole night with you. You are the one I could see having fun with, not just for the night, but for the rest of my life. You are the one I could never be done with. I want you tonight and for the rest of my life.
Death is always looming over us, but this is where life insurance comes into play. Life insurance companies provide financial protection for family members of policyholders in case something happens to the policyholder. Policyholders have to pay a premium to have access to life insurance. Now, you have to make sure that you get certain coverage because not all policies are the same. Read the fine print. Policyholders also have the option to borrow against the policy, but that means they will have to pay it back at a later date. Pension funds are funds that collect contributions from a firm's employees. Those funds are used over a long period of time, about 30 to 40 years, to be invested in high quality stocks and bonds to earn interest over time. This will become open to the employee when they retire or they become disabled. This is so long as your employer actually invests their money.
Which means a profit so far this year of 1,800 billion. Splendid! And this doesn't even include the added revenue arising from your takeover of ITV.
ITV? I'd forgotten about ITV. Brilliant! Gentlemen, when I first started Renham Industries, I had just two things in my possession. A dream and £6 million. Today, I have a business empire the like of which the world has never seen the like of which. I hope it doesn't sound arrogant when I say that I am the greatest man in the world. Gentlemen, to the future. Oh, you don't have any glasses? Just pretend. The future. The future.
Sorry to interrupt, but there are some policemen here. They say they need to speak to you about irregularities in the pension fund.
I see. Could you make me a cup of tea, please, Stephanie?
A finance company is a firm that specializes in making loans directly to consumers. They also buy contracts from other firms or merchants at a lesser amount. So let's say a merchant cannot collect on a contract or is unwilling to wait for the full term of the contract to come to maturity. That firm will sell their contract for a lesser amount to a finance company for a lump sum payment. Now, the person who signed the contract has to pay the finance company or risk being taken to court. This is extremely risky as people can default on payments and the finance company may not collect any money. It is for that reason that they often charge very high interest rates on their loans.
Einstein is reputed to have said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world or something like that. And it goes back to that story you probably learned when you were in grade school where somebody did something for the king and the king said, "What can I do for you?" And he said, "Well, let's take a chessboard and put one kernel of wheat on the first square and then double it on the second and double it on the third." And the king readily agreed to it. And by the time he figured out what 2 to the 64th amounted to, he was giving away the entire kingdom. So it's a pretty simple concept, but over time, it accomplishes extraordinary things.
Now let's say you want to invest. You can make many considerations when you invest your money. Remember that money represents your labor and your time. So let's say you place $100 a month into an account that has 10% annual compounding interest over the next 52 years. So when most of you will be 70, it will be over $1 million by the time that you are 70. This highlights the importance of consistency and patience to invest. Also, make sure that you understand what you're investing into. If it is too difficult for you to understand, do not invest or find someone that does understand. A very good short novel about this is The Richest Man in Babylon. I highly recommend that all of you read that book.
$60 a month? Hey, can I use it?
Sure you can, Mr. Finchley. But how?
How?
Yes, what will you do with those extra dollars? There are lots of things you could do. Bury it in a tin can in the backyard, for instance. But idle money may in time depreciate. Or you could spend it on a couple of nights out a week with the wife. This seems like a lot of fun. But with this kind of life, you'd depreciate. So why not put your money to work?
Put my money to work?
That's right, Mr. Finchley. You can own a share of American business. There are over 1,200 companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Companies which employ more than 11 million people, produce half of all the goods made in America, and pay about half the nation's dividends. Many of these companies have been paying dividends for 25 years or longer.
Tycoon.
Neither are most of the people who own shares in American business. 3 out of 4 of all share owners are in families which make less than $10,000 a year.
The raise was only $60 a month.
Well, the monthly investment plan specifically designed for anyone who wants to invest in common or preferred stocks on a pay-as-you-go basis. You can $40 up to $1,000 every month or every 3 months under MIP. So why not the member firm of the New York Stock Exchange and get some practical advice on how to own a share in American business? And before you invest, investigate.
Yeah, invest. Just think, with $60 a month, I could... Just a moment, sir, if you please. You look like the kind of a man of judgment who knows how to invest his money wisely. Won't you step into my office, please? Let me give you a hot tip, strictly confidential. For a limited time only, we are offering to discriminating buyers like yourself a few shares in a world-famous company with mines in Nigeria, Tasmania, Somaliland, and Brooklyn. It's Utopium Unlimited. It glows in the dark. Small investment, big profit. As a special favor, I'll let you have 100 shares for only 40 cents a share. That comes to $40, plus, of course, $20 for putting you onto a surefire moneymaker. You are now a man of substance. Hey, you!
Mr. Finchley, there is a big difference between dealing with a fly-by-night operator and a reputable broker.
Please sit down, Mr. Finchley. First, tell me, what are you gonna sell me?
Not a thing, Mr. Finchley. As members of the New York Stock Exchange, we are prepared to be of service to you if dates. Every day, member brokers buy tens of thousands of shares of stock. A doctor in Atlanta wants to buy some stock. A farmer in Spokane wants to sell his stock in the same company to get cash, say, for a new tractor. The Atlanta broker for the buyer and the Spokane broker for the seller speed the orders to their exchange members on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. When the floor broker representing the buyer bids the price asked by the floor broker representing the seller, a transaction is made. When you sell securities on the New York Stock Exchange, you win cash by the buyer. Every day, millions of dollars of listed securities are bought and sold on the New York Stock Exchange. You can check the price of your stock in a daily newspaper, or by getting the latest market quotation from a member broker like myself.
Well, how do I get the facts before I invest?
Before you'd buy stock in a company, you'd want to know, among other things, its record of sales for previous years, what dividends it has paid, and its prospects for the future. Of course, we can't foretell the future, but we can give you many facts and figures to help you select a suitable stock.
While investing, you need to maintain a diverse investment. Diversification for your money protects you from the uncertainty that comes with the market. You have heard the saying, do not place all your eggs in one basket. You should not place all of your money into one investment. It is better to buy 100 shares of 10 different stocks rather than one share of one company at $1,000.
I'd like to withdraw my life savings, please. And hurry!
Sir, this is a joint account. You'll need your wife's signature, too.
Oh, yours, of course. Yeah, she's behind that plant. Hello, Marge.
Hi, homie.
Sign this, please.
You're the boss.
Daddy, ask the man for some candy.
No candy for you.
Then at least get some candy for yourself.
Kids.
Here's your candy.
So long, sucker!
Sir, your life savings?
Yes, I see that it's in bill form. Excellent. I'd like to buy 500 shares of Animotion Incorporated.
Okay. Now, before I execute this order, are you sure you understand the risks of stock ownership?
Absolutely.
We're in the money. We're in the money.
You heard the monkey. Make the trade.
For automated stock prices, please state the company name.
Animotion.
Animotion, up 1 1/2.
Yahoo!
Yahoo, up 6 1/4.
What is this crap?
Fox Broadcasting, down 8.
Sleep tight, my beloved. You're my ticket out of this hellhole.
Homer!
Sorry. Our ticket out of this hellhole.
Turning to the stock market, Animotion is up an 1/8.
Yes!
After plunging 75 points this morning.
Oh, I hope plunging means up and 75 means 200.
The firm declared super-duper bankruptcy, which is terrible news for the company's only stockholder, Homer Simpson.
Oh!
Always remember, there are risks that comes with investing money. A perfect example is right now. No one expected that COVID-19 would arrive, much less that it would trip up the economy as much as it has. A good example, American Airlines prior to COVID-19 stock was about $28 a share. It has fallen over 50% since the spread of COVID-19. Imagine that you had all of your money invested in American Airlines. That is a huge hit. That's it for this video, students. Please make sure that you are reading your books. Please follow the CDC recommendations. Wash your hands, do not touch your face, and do not go outside unless you need to do so.